Well, guys, gonna be doing this on my cell phone today, I guess. Forgot to put the camera on the charger last night, and my daughter was using it, and she forgot to turn it off. So, be using a cell phone. Hopefully, the sound doesn't suck on this. Had a long day yesterday, and a late night. Didn't get home till about midnight, so didn't really get a chance to wrap up any kind of vlog yesterday. So, probably just gonna recap kind of what happened, and then you can kind of put your imagination to it. But got up, had breakfast, and it was like a steak with butter and some fried eggs, and it was very, very good. Then we headed out to North Park Mall up in Dallas. My daughter and I to do some Christmas shopping, and she had a great time. Got to go to Urban Outfitters. It's one of her favorite stores. And then she had lunch there at the food court. There wasn't really anything I could eat, and I really wasn't even hungry. I didn't eat again until 4 o'clock when we met up with Christina and had dinner, which was a cheeseburger with fried egg and some bacon, no bun, and that pretty much kept me going. And then we got to the game. It was the semifinals. So whoever won this game was going to go to states for my son's high school. He's a senior. I think I've told you all that, but he's a varsity player. And so that was up at Allen High School, which has an amazing stadium, by the way. If you're not from Texas, you don't fully understand what kind of religion football is here, but it is definitely a religion. And those guys have built a modern temple to the sport of football. It really is probably better than some D3 college stadiums. It's just really amazing. But it was raining. You can probably hear that I'm all stopped up now. It was raining and cold all night. We were able to find some seats that were under sort of an awning under their deck because they had an upper deck, believe it or not. So we stayed dry on that, but I'm on the Panther pit, which it's a group of dads that blows up the inflatable Panther and the boys run through it. And the game kind of got started off on a sour note. The reason I mentioned the Panther pit, by the way, is because we're down there standing in the rain for a good portion of the game when we're messing with that thing. But before the game starts, we usually go down there and blow the Panther up, and it's raining, and we're having trouble getting the inflatable to come up, and we never could get it up. And that always disappoints the boys. I don't know why you think it's something just so simple as this little inflatable Panther that they run through, but when it's not there, you can really tell it affects them, and really even affects the crowd. Like, they kind of look forward to this Panther. Who knew it was such a big deal? But we never could get it inflated, and so we finally had to give up on it. And the boys just came out and they ran through the little breakaway thing that they always run through, but without the Panther. So it was a tight game. It was really tough. Played the Longview Lobos, and they're really good. We actually have a history with them, and that Midway has met with them twice in playoff football, and both times have lost. And so we knew it was going to be a tough game. Uh, at halftime, it was 14-13 Midway. So that gives you an idea. There's a lot of fumbles, we had a safety against us in the first half, and it was just really tough. And you could tell that the boys were struggling with the rain and bad snaps and just all kinds of badness all over. But we were at least still ahead by a point. Well, then the second half comes around, and we discover that there's a zipper on this inflatable that none of us guys had ever even knew this zipper was a possibility even existed, and somehow the last game it had come unzipped, and that's why the Panther wasn't inflating. So for the second half run out, we actually did get the Panther up, and when we got that Panther up, it was something else. You could really feel the energy in the crowd shift. And when those boys came out and they saw the Panther up, I don't get it, but it really has an effect on them. So they came out swinging, boom, boom, scored two touchdowns and got up. And then that was pretty much the end of the touchdowns for the night. We got up to 28 points, and Longview came back. They came back, and they were within 2 points. It was 28-26, and they were driving with just a little bit over a minute to go. And we were all concerned that they were going to come in and score. We wouldn't have enough time to come back and win the game. But they fumbled. They didn't fumble. They threw an interception, and we got it. Holy crap, we got it. It's like a minute and two left in the game. We've got two timeouts. Longview has two timeouts. So we're going to have to run some plays because they're going to be able to stop the clock with their timeout. So the first play we have, it's going to be a quarterback keeper. And our quarterback is a superstar stud. He is committed to OU. So when he graduates, he's going to go play quarterback for OU. So that tells you what kind of stud he is. But he rolls out to the left with that ball. And he gets hit. And he fumbles the ball. Fumbles the dadgum ball midfield. We lose the ball. Longview gets it. And they start driving. They're driving down. They're going to score. Holy crap. All they have to do is get a field goal. And they'll win because they'll be up by 1. It'll be 29-28. So they drive all the way down to the 10-yard line. And then we get a big sack and we drive them back to the 15. And so they decide they're going to go ahead. There's 7 seconds left in the game. They're going to set up for the field goal and make it because it's so short. We were all just completely beside ourselves. How is this even happening? We were going to win. We were just celebrating a minute ago that we had this victory. And then we fumbled. And they were driving. And they're about to score. And they're going to win. They snapped the ball. They kicked the ball. And it's wide left.
Oh my God, he missed that kick! Yes! Yes!
They missed the ball. They missed the ball. Midway wins. Holy crap, it was the most exciting game I've ever seen. So they're state bound, guys. We're going to be at Jerry World next week watching them play in the state championships. It was completely amazing. So this vlog is supposed to be about keto. Sorry, it ended up being about football today, but that's just what's on my brain. That game, football in general, really any sport, just it teaches you a little bit about life. You know, that there was a lot of adversity that those kids were going through, standing out there and playing in the rain and making lots of mistakes because the rain was getting to them. And at no point did they ever give up. And that just tells you that perseverance is very important in everything you do. Even when the chips are down so far that you're about to lose the game, all they got to do is kick a field goal and you're going to lose. You still play your heart out and you win that game. No matter what you do, whether it's diet, whether it's exercise, whether it's work or studies or whatever it is you're doing, do it to the fullest. It was amazing. Well, we got a full day today. Sorry about all that. I already had breakfast. Had bacon and scrambled eggs. You'll see here that my bed has no sheets on it. That is because, let's see if we can find her here. That little boxer turd right there. Yeah, her name is Baylor. She has a real bad habit of peeing in the bed. So I woke up at 6 o'clock this morning soaked in dog pee. So you can imagine, wasn't happy about that. I call her a piss ant because that's what she is, I guess. So we had to take care of a lot of that. And I have another cat whose hobby is vomiting all over the place. So I cleaned up a lot of cat puke this morning too. But I got to get out to Sam's. I'm also going to take some flowers out to my mom for Christmas, get her some poinsettias out of her grave. And then I got to go grocery shopping. And after all of that, hopefully, we'll see. Hopefully I'll have time to go to the movies because I need to see Star Wars before all my turd friends start posting spoilers on Facebook. And then they'll say it's my fault because I haven't seen it. So got a big day ahead. We'll try to keep you posted as we go. We'll see you. Well, I know I said I was going to Sam's next, but it really makes more sense to stop Joanne and get some flowers from Mama's graves and do that since she's north of Sam's and go to Sam's on the way back. This will be foreign territory for me. Usually I go in here with my wife. It's kind of not my thing, but at least I know where the flowers are, so it'll be real quick. Well, here I am at Sam's. I got done at the cemetery. The flowers looked pretty good in the store, and then when I get out there to the cemetery, they don't look anything like what I thought they would look. I told Christina I'm no longer allowed to go by myself. She has to go with me because she's way better at that than I am. But I'm going to go in here into Sam's. Sam's a great place, especially when you're doing keto and even more so on this zero carb thing because you can get some quality meat for not too much money. So, yeah, I started trying to come here a whole lot more. I love H-E-B and their meat's great too. But if I can come out here once every other week or so, I can get a lot of hamburger meat and pretty cheap chicken thighs, which, you know, is my favorite chicken anyway. So, let's go in here and knock this out. Got a lot of stuff still to do. Oh, shit. This is going to suck. The line's going all the way back to the aisles. Great. Not a bad keto haul, if I do say so myself. Well, it's the end of the day. Got too busy. Still did not go see Star Wars, so hopefully people don't ruin that for me. Nothing much exciting happened after H-E-B, really. Just went and see for lunch. I didn't have that till about 4 o'clock. Had about 4 ounces of cheddar cheese. And then around 6:30, we went to Chewy's, which is a Mexican place here in Texas. I actually think they might be nationwide now too. But at any rate, just went and had a fajitas there, fajitas for two, since I wasn't eating any of the vegetables or anything like that. Golly, that gets expensive, by the way. Fajitas for two. I could have gone to Saltgrass and had a good steak, but it was great, delicious. And then yeah, so that was the end of Chewy's. Um, One thing I am noticing now with the whole like zero carb thing is that maybe this fabled no appetite is finally kicking me with keto. Like even when I'm just doing normal keto, I'll still get hungry pretty regularly. Although I'm just noticing it this weekend. I'm curious to see how that works tomorrow at work. A lot of times, just sitting at my desk, it's harder to ignore when you get hungry as opposed to when you're running around town. And then the other thing I'm noticing so far is that I really hate not having Coke Zero Sugar, because that stuff is the nectar of the gods and it's delicious. But I don't get to have it because there's no sweeteners and that kind of stuff. And really, if I want it that bad, I'm wondering if maybe it isn't an issue for me. And I've also noticed with my weight loss picking up, if maybe cutting out the aspartame is helping. Who knows? I guess when this is all over, I'll reintroduce Coke Zero Sugar and see what happens. But at any rate, it's been a great day. We'll see y'all tomorrow. Bye.